Hi there, welcome to Recap City. Today, I am going to share a 2017 science fiction and action-adventure movie titled Time Trap. Warning, spoilers ahead. Enjoy watching. The movie begins with an archaeology professor named Hopper who's with his dog, Boss. They are looking for signs of Hopper's family who disappeared back in the 1970s after they descended on a cave while searching for the magical fountain of youth. After some time, he notices a cave-like entrance in a distance up a mountain. When they arrive at the said entrance, he saw a cowboy with a gun and holding a lamp, who seemed frozen in time because he is not moving. Shocked by his discovery, he goes back to his car and heads back home. He has planned this exploration with his two teaching assistants, Taylor and Jackie. When he arrives home, he found the two waiting for him and tells them that he decided to do it alone because of some changes in the situation. When he gets back to the place, he enters the cave and finds out that there is a layer that is separating the atmosphere between the cave and the outside world. He decided to break through it and suddenly, the cowboy man he found started moving. 2 days have passed since Hopper went to the cave. Taylor and Jackie are beginning to worry about him, so they decided to follow him. But since they don't have a car to use to look for Hopper, Jackie insists that Taylor call Kara, his crush, and convince her to borrow her dad's car. But since Kara's sister, Vives, needs to do a school project, she lets her go with them. And one more person to join the group is Furby, Vives' friend. When they arrived at the location, they find Hopper's family van. It is when it becomes clear to them that the professor is looking for his family and not some 70s hippies he told them before. They also find an old rope leading to a different side of the cave. They discover that the rope had been cut off, but fortunately, they know that it's not Hopper's rope because it's too old. They also learn that the cave is too deep. The group decided to go down the cave but leaves Furby outside since he's too afraid of thinking about what's waiting for them down there. On their way down, Kara discovers the same invisible layer Hopper found at the cave entrance. They too feel that it changes the atmosphere completely, but decided to continue. Meanwhile, Hopper starts to feel something odd, moments later after he follows the cowboy inside. He notices a weird dance of light. It's like someone outside the cave is constantly turning the lights on and off. Then he suddenly hears a loud screaming and runs outside the cave. We see him enter the cave when the sun is still rising, but after spending only 5 minutes inside the cave, it's already nighttime. The outside world has become very different, and the strange thing is that his car is already covered by overgrown plants, which looks like that at least a decade had passed. It seems like a couple of minutes inside the cave is at least a decade outside. He also finds Kara's car parked outside and Jackie's backpack, which convinced him to go back inside the cave. Meanwhile, as the kids begin to explore the cave, Jackie and Vives were startled by the voices screaming far inside the cave and decided that they should leave. Jackie starts to climb up, but suddenly, the rope has been cut off, which causes her to fall. That injures her and Taylor when he tries to catch her. Taylor then pulls the second rope, which they discover has been cut off as well. They quickly suspect that Furby is pulling a prank on them and that he purposely cut the rope to mess with them. They then try to communicate with Furby through the radio, but no one is answering. Later, they hear a muffled sound on the radio that seems to ask for help, claiming that he's Furby and he's inside the cave. With no option left, they try to go further inside the cave to look for him, leaving Jackie alone since she cannot walk. Deep inside the cave, they discover a cut-off rope and Furby's dead body with his neck broken. They get his camera and play his video recordings to find out how he ends up inside the cave and what happened to him. In the video, Furby reads Hopper's dad's journal, which reveals that there is a magical water inside the cave that heals people. Because Hopper's sister got sick, the family decides to go to the cave looking for the water. After spending several days outside the cave, Furby decides he is going to go and looking for his friend, who he has presumed dead, for the car keys. While it is a whole day for him, the rest of the group only experiences seconds inside the cave. As Furby enters, his rope gets cut, causing him to fall, but doesn't die. He lies there unconscious for about an hour and wakes up to talk to Taylor, but suddenly a caveman attacks and kills him. Vives also spots something nonsense as the time code from the recording spans several days while they only have been in the cave for an hour. Because both Taylor and Jackie are injured, only Kara and Vives are left to find a way out and call for help. Because Vives is younger, Kara decides to climb up the same way they came down and manages to come out to find a completely different place. Now, there is no sign of vegetation and the air also feels weird, causing Kara to have difficulty breathing. She also spots a huge dust storm coming her way. She then discovers a massive triangle-shaped object in the sky. Unable to call for help, she goes back inside the cave but is accused by others of not even trying to get help. She is being accused because only a couple of seconds had passed in the cave, while she had been outside for about 30 minutes. The group realizes that the time outside the cave is running faster than inside the cave, causing the event inside the cave to move more slowly. Taylor also adds that the ropes at the top of the cliff are aging at a rapid rate, causing them to sever due to the friction with the cliff side. Because of that, Vives rewatches the recording of Furby's footage, realizing that the sun paths keep changing. She also reveals that the bright is summer and the dark is winter, making one cycle of seasons seen in only about 1 second, which means an entire year passes by in only a second. When Kara attempts to climb on the cliff one more time, suddenly a very futuristic and high-tech ladder pops down into the cave along with a giant being covered in a spacesuit. Out of nowhere, a caveman appears and begins to attack the giant, but is subdued non-lethally. The group decides to run away to another part of the cave. There, they find the dead bodies of the cowboy man and Hopper's parents. They are also confronted by 3 other cavemen. Taylor decides to fight the cavemen but is killed brutally, while the girls flee to the other side of the cave. Kara comes back and finds his dead body. While crying over him, she is confronted by the giant alien. He picks up Taylor's body and drags him to the pool of water. Magically, the water manages to bring Taylor back to life. The cavemen come back and attack the giant, knocking off his helmet, which exposes him to the air he is not able to breathe. Even so, he still manages to capture all the cavemen. Before he dies, he shows the group several media clips about their disappearance and indicates that humans have begun to move to another planet to preserve humanity. At this point, the group realizes that there is no way back and they must decide whether they have to get out there right now or live there forever. But Taylor eventually finds a mortally injured Hopper in front of another thicker layer of wall, containing Hopper's long-missing sister and frozen folks from various eras who are fighting to seize the Fountain of Youth. Hopper explains that the whole cave is a system that was designed to protect the fountain, and each layer has a different speed, making the time in the deeper layer much slower than the previous layer. The group uses the water to heal the injured Jackie and dead Furby, but they are attacked by the remaining cavemen. Since they have nowhere to go, they decide to use the high-tech ladder from the giant to climb outside the cave. As Kara reaches the cave ceiling, she discovers that it is blocked by a layer of water. Kara then tries to break through the layer, but she is suddenly grabbed by strange creatures who appear to be helping her by giving her a mask to breathe inside the water layer. Moments later, Kara returns to the cave with a cool suit and advanced ropes that she used to retrieve everyone from the cave, including Furby, Hopper, and Hopper's family. In the end, we then see Furby, Hopper, and his parents and sister are all brought back to life. They are on a huge spaceship that is heading toward their new home. Help us grow this channel. Subscribe for more videos every day, turn on notifications and leave a like and a comment. Thank you for watching. See you at the next one.